This is an iPod from 2012, and for the next 30 days, I'm gonna be deleting my Spotify account, and this will be my only way of listening to music. You might be wondering why I'm doing this. Well, it all started at the beginning of this year when I made a short film called How Music Has Changed, which was basically just a nostalgic trip through the last 50 years of how we've consumed music. From flipping through records in the 70s, to rewinding mixtapes in the 80s, to burning our favorite playlist onto CDs in the 90s and early 2000s, all the way to today where we swipe endlessly through hit singles in seconds. Working on this film reminded me how much more intentional we used to be with music and how using our phones for everything has kind of taken some of the magic away. I've also been trying to implement more single-purpose devices into my daily routine to distance myself from my phone and help limit the amount of distractions in my life. There's not 100 apps with intricate algorithms all desperately competing for your attention on this decade-old iPod. It's just music. It doesn't have any other purpose. It's not trying to buy your attention or sell you something. No upgrades, no ads. It's simply there just to play your favorite songs. So by the end of this journey, I want to see if an old iPod can actually deepen my connection with music, help me stay off my phone, and maybe even convince me to cancel my Spotify subscription for good. Okay, so I'm officially removing the Spotify app from my phone. Again, I'm just deleting the app. I'm not erasing my account just yet. We'll have to see how the next 30 days goes. It's officially off my phone. It's gonna be weird. I've been using Spotify since 2017, so yeah, this is definitely going to be a little interesting. Right now, the only way I listen to music is either on my phone or on my record player. In fact, almost immediately after filming How Music Has Changed, I went out and dove headfirst into records. And honestly, going to record stores and physically shopping for music in person has been one of my favorite hobbies of this entire year. I actually just got back from the record store yesterday and picked up a few new vinyls. But now I'm not just gonna be shopping for records in person, I'm gonna be shopping for CDs now so I can put them on my iPod. So there's two main ways of getting music downloaded onto the iPod. The first and by far most convenient and easy way is to just buy music on iTunes and immediately sync it right to the iPod. The second, and what I'm gonna be doing throughout this video, is buying the CDs and then burning them onto my iTunes store. So my computer, like most computers these days, doesn't have a CD port, so I just got this external CD DVD drive on Amazon for 20 bucks, and it works really good. And the cool part is iTunes already knows all the names of the songs and the artists, so you don't have to fill out anything. The reason why I'm choosing to go through all this extra work is because I feel like if you're going to own your own media, then you should physically own it. Technically, you own the music on iTunes, but then it's just kind of stuck on iTunes. And I feel like for the long term, it just kind of makes sense to have the CDs so you can continue using them and burning them in the future. I just bought $100 worth of CDs, which might sound a little crazy, but I feel like I got a lot for $100. Most of these CDs were only $2 to $3. For an album as good as these two, I mean, that's a steal. I found all of these on eBay, so they are used. That's why they're so cheap. When I buy the newer CDs, they are closer to $10, but sometimes you can get them cheaper too if you buy the bundles. For instance, I bought all the 21 Pilots CDs, as well as a pack of the Lumineers. But I mean, you cannot beat this. This is insane. We got some One Republic, Mumford & Sons. I found a ton of Coldplay. I also found all 3 of the original Ed Sheeran albums, which is pretty cool. $100 up front. Sounds kind of crazy to spend on CDs in 2025. But I feel like when you really break it down, it's not that bad. Right now, I'm spending over $200 a year on my Spotify account, which granted my wife and I do share, but we can also share all of these, and I can even share these with even more people. I can give them away to family and friends, and they can download them too. For that 17 bucks a month, I could be buying 3, 4, 5 used CDs on eBay, or even 1 or 2 newer CDs every single month. Plus, the idea is the more time that passes, the less money you would be spending since you would already own all of your music. There's definitely a bigger upfront investment, which I'm really starting to realize now as my CD piles grow and grow. But on the flip side of that, at least you actually own your music and don't become a slave to subscriptions. The average American spends over $70 a month on streaming services alone. And once you start factoring in all of our other subscriptions, it can easily start to feel a bit overwhelming. Now, of course, it's not all rainbows and butterflies. I mean, I could just spend $12 right now and instantly have all of the music in the world in the palm of my hand. But instead, I'm here spending $100 on a stack of CDs that I have to burn one by one to put on my iPod. Even though it was slightly less convenient, there was just something more enjoyable about listening to music on the iPod. Even when just using it around the house or at the gym, the iPod definitely helped create separation from my overstimulating smartphone. It made listening to music feel like a break from the digital world and not just another part of it. Instead of quickly throwing up a random AI-generated playlist, I was handpicking my own music and gaining more appreciation for each album on my iPod. Carrying around a device that only played music felt lighter, and not just metaphorically speaking. I've been using this little iPod for my runs because it's so small and lightweight compared to the other one, which, by the way, if you haven't noticed already, I have two different iPods that I've been using throughout this video. This is the OG one that I originally bought for my How Music Has Changed short film. Then I ended up getting a newer one for myself because it has better battery life and supposedly has the best audio quality out of all the iPods, but this one is definitely the winner for running. It's just so tiny and lightweight, which is just so much nicer than running with my phone. Honestly, the only downside is you can't track your runs at all. I have no idea how fast I was going or how far I went because you can't really track anything on the iPod, which on one hand is also kind of a positive thing because you're not worried about your pace and it's not a chore. It actually kind of makes running more fun because you're more focused on just listening to your music and taking in the scenery. But as far as performance and tracking your runs, you're not gonna really get that with an iPod. This is strictly for fun. Okay, so we're halfway there. Honeymoon phase is officially over. And honestly, I'm starting to have some Spotify withdrawals. Easily what I miss most is shuffle. Of course, nothing beats the original track list of an album. Every great record is meticulously planned out from start to finish to walk you through a series of emotions and to tell a story, which I'm actually appreciating now more than ever, being forced to listen to albums in order and just realizing how well they all flow together. Now, there technically is shuffle on this iPod, but it's just one option to shuffle all songs. Now playing 1 out of 710 songs on the iPod. So it turns out the iPod does have shuffle. I just didn't realize it until after filming this video. But if you go into the settings, you have a few different options to choose from. It's still not the easiest to flip back and forth from, but not really a problem for me anymore either. Number 2, Spotify's vast library. Obviously right now I don't have the largest music library, so I'm kind of stuck listening to the same 20 to 25 artists until I get a new CD, which I'll continue growing my library over time, but just for right now, it's a little limited. And lastly, just the Spotify features, specifically the podcast and live events. For long car rides and stuff, podcasts are just great. There's also live events, which I appreciate so much. Right before I started this whole challenge, I actually saw on Spotify that the Lumineers were coming to town, and we did end up going to their concert just a few nights ago, which was just so fun, and I probably would have never even seen it if it wasn't for Spotify. I took a trip midway through this journey to work on some other projects and honestly couldn't decide how I felt. I knew that I would still continue using the iPod often, but just wasn't fully convinced that I could actually cancel my Spotify account and not have any music on my phone. CD haul. Welcome to our final CD haul. And Allie's first CD haul of this video. Allie's been absolutely loving using the iPod. Where's yours? She's been using the little one this whole time.
Honestly, I love the little one.
I actually kind of like the little one more
Like,
too.
they're so cute together,
Yeah.
his and hers.
Anyway, on our way out, we swung by the mailbox and had an entire box full of CDs. You just start ripping them open.
Just go for it.
It's like Christmas every time you get new music for yourself.
Totally.
Oh!
Imagine Dragon.
I've been waiting for this one for weeks.
Ooh. So I'm not a huge Taylor Swift fan, but if I were to get into it, I knew it would be this album.
I'm gonna download that one on my iPod too.
I got this.
Couple NF CDs.
Florence and the Machine, fave.
Got another script CD as well as some Walk the Moon.
Kyle got some more Eminem,
Ooh,
and I
nice.
don't necessarily approve of that one.
Last week, my parents brought me over a box of all my old Eminem CDs that I didn't even remember I had, but apparently I have almost every single one from childhood.
Bon Iver. I don't know, I've heard both, but it's one of my favorite artists of all time. I should probably know the name, but I don't.
So a lot of these CDs, even though they're new, I actually got them really cheap on Amazon. I don't know why, but sometimes CDs on Amazon are like $2 to $4. They gave us a bonus CD.
Whoa. Whoa.
We almost got every single Bastille CD for like
that's
20
actually
bucks.
Awesome.
Give
So the
us-
eBay seller just gave us 2 extra ones for free.
Well, here is our newest stack of CDs. We have a lot more music now. This is a good pile. There's some good stuff in here.
We gotta get burning.
What have you liked most about using the iPod?
I don't know. There's just like so many times throughout the day where I find myself clicking Instagram or TikTok when I didn't intend to do that. And that just adds up throughout the day.
And no distractions.
No distractions. Like, it's so nice. I want to get more albums on it so that we can just listen to it all the time. You won't
So much less
understand it until you try it.
You won't understand until
you just
you get an
gotta
iPod,
get an
for
iPod.
yourself. So unfortunately, our car doesn't have an aux cable for some reason.
Yep.
It only has CarPlay.
Why did they take that out of cars? I just
I
don't.
don't know. It literally takes up no room at all. So this is what we've been using. It's just a $8 FM transmitter off Amazon. It actually plugs in down here. The quality is definitely not the best. Thanks for being a part of our CD haul. That was fun. I'm so excited to download this. Let's go.
Place, the only place I know where the people hunt, where all the people go to have a bad time.
Okay, so I don't know how I've never known about this, but apparently if you just plug your phone in to your computer, assuming you have an iPhone, then you can download your entire iTunes library to your phone, just like you do on the iPod. I don't know why. I guess I just figured if you're not paying for a monthly subscription, you wouldn't be able to use the app at all. You can see right here on the homepage, I don't have an Apple Music account, but if you just click on your library, there you go. Everything I have on the iPod is now right here on my phone. And I know a lot of the reasons for using the iPod is to get off the phone, but that is really challenging to do on a day-to-day basis. But now, knowing that I can take all of the same music that I'm buying for my iPod and just put it on my phone as well, I might actually be able to cancel my Spotify and go back to the old ways of doing things. But we'll see how the next 5 days go. So one huge perk that I haven't mentioned yet is just how good the iPod sounds. It's not something you would notice right away unless someone pointed it out, but once you do, it's hard to miss. Now, a lot of that does come from just plugging it in with an aux cord instead of using Bluetooth, but it's also because the audio files themselves are higher quality than what you would typically get from streaming. Okay, so it's been an entire month of using an iPod. So you're probably wondering, how practical is using an iPod in 2025? And will I actually cancel my Spotify subscription? Well, let's start with the pros. First of all, I've absolutely loved using the iPod. I genuinely want to bring it with me places. It's been such a great excuse to leave the house without my phone, which has been one of my favorite things about using the iPod. I feel like, in a way, it's kind of reprogramming my brain to just be more okay with leaving my phone behind more often. Another thing I was hoping to achieve was becoming more intentional with my music, and I also saw that really come to life during the last 30 days. I think humans naturally probably just take more pride in the things they own. I feel like there's just a deeper appreciation that you have. But as much as I love this iPod, it's definitely not perfect. The technology itself does feel a little dated. There are the occasional hiccups you have to go through, but overall, I would say I'm actually impressed that it works as good as it does, being this old. Anyway, I guess it's time to get to the question we're all waiting for. Is this enough for me to cancel my Spotify? Honestly, yeah, I think I'm going to give it a try. 30 days just really isn't enough time to get a realistic feel for things, and I kind of want to just give it a shot and see what things are like throughout the long run. I was actually planning to say no in this video because my FM transmitter just wasn't cutting it, but since I figured out that I can take all of the music I already own and put it on my phone and still use it through CarPlay and Bluetooth, I feel like that is enough. I'm just really excited to really give the old school way of doing things a real chance for a while and just see how it goes.